Watson wants out. Doesn't seem like the Texans have any interest in trading him, although David Culley last week said he's our quarterback for now. What are you hearing on the latest on the Texans front?
Yeah, I just love the for now, the wording, ever so careful, because God forbid anybody goes back on their word, which we both have been doing this a long time. How many times do we go back to a press conference when a coach or a manager says, we will not trade this guy, or he's our guy, and then they trade him away? We never do that, right? We just all right, whatever, on to the next. So I do think it's funny that they feel like they have to filter it just in case they make that move. But what was interesting, and I attended that press conference over Zoom, was, I went into it knowing and having spoken to a lot of people in the organization and even around the league who have been in contact with the Houston Texans. And I keep getting the same message, which is it's not happening. Like I've had numerous people say, just, stop hedging, stop, doing these pretend situations on your network so much. It's not happening, which is so, obviously that actually puts the red flags up for me, because anytime anything is that set in stone, it's going to shake out in the NFL, because it's happened to me many of times in the past. But for what I'm being told, and that's really what I can just pass along to you, is that they don't want to do this, that Nick Caserio does not want to make his first time as a GM of the Houston Texans a role he's wanted, at least a role as a general manager, and his legacy to be that he traded away a once-in-a-lifetime type quarterback, during his time there. So, and look, it's more than ego, obviously. There's a lot more to it, but they are attempting to fix this. And poor David Culley was put in such a tough position the other day with having to answer all those questions. And he did his best. He kept to the script. Deshaun is our guy. But, talking to free agents around the league, someone like Mark Ingram I spoke to, who had told me he was interested in Houston, and Houston was interested in him before he signed. And I've known Mark for a long time, and I can speak to him pretty frankly. I'm like, why? What are you doing? You don't need to go there. You're not desperate. You can easily find another team. Aren't you concerned about Deshaun Watson? And he's like, yeah, of course I am. He's like, and there's definitely a feeling that he's not going to be here, but I got to take care of me and my family. And you understand from the business element there. But other free agents that are getting interest from Houston, they have questions, and I would love to actually find out what the pitch is from Houston. What are you saying? How are you getting wide receivers to come there if a lot of these players talk to each other? The top receivers in this sport are friends with the quarterbacks. They've probably worked out together. So they probably know the real story. So I think keeping an eye on what Houston does will tell a lot of the story of what direction they're going to go in, Dave.